Hello artists, and welcome to Creativity Time with Julia Major. Creativity Time is all about showing you ways to make your own personal art. No two artworks are the same, and at Creativity Time we embrace that. If that sounds fun to you, I hope that you will like and subscribe to learn more art tricks. This video is all about how to make your own stencils, and it links well to a number of other videos, including the recent video on how to collage your own stuffed animal, because I used my own stencil to make the jelly beans on that bunny. So, all of these tricks don't involve X-Acto knives. If you're an adult, an X-Acto knife can be a great way to make a stencil, but X-Acto knives can be a bit scary and they're very easy to trip up and get cut, and certainly shouldn't be used by artists that are much younger. So these tricks all avoid X-Acto knives and stick strictly to scissors. So the first thing to know is that when you make a stencil, it doesn't always have to be a gap in the inside and then this outside and stenciling the inside. You can make stencils like this and then go around the edge and get an edged effect. So that can be really cool. Unfortunately, I don't have it right now, but there is a special brush that you can use for stenciling. It's a little round at the bottom, it's foam, it's very inexpensive. When you're using those kind of stencil brushes, you really want to go on top of your stencil instead of trying, when you're on a stencil like this, instead of trying to stick to the inside. Go over things. So if this was my stencil brush that's kind of round, go over it like this, instead of just trying to stick to the inside, because when you try to stick to the inside, you're not going to get that sharp edge, and also you're more likely to go in and accidentally flip it up. So it's counterintuitive, but go on top. When you make your own stencil out of paper, you don't want to do it like this. This is too thin of an edge, so it's really easy to accidentally go over the side, unless you want that effect, in which case you absolutely can do that. So now I'm going to show you a couple of the ways that you can make the stencil. Firstly, you can just draw what you want on a piece of paper, and then to get access to it, just do a little fold, do a little cut, open it back up, and cut from there. It gives you an access point to cut out the middle no matter what you drew, as long as it's something fairly solid. So that's the first trick, and you can use that for a variety of things. So I did just thin paper, but I recommend that you make your stencils out of at least construction paper if you're planning to use them a couple of times, because that's going to hold up better. If you're planning to use it 6 or 7 or more times, you may want to go with a cereal cardboard. And the exact same thing I showed you works on here. Same way, it's a thin cardboard, it folds. It's going to get a little bend in it, but that's no problem. The stencil is still going to work, and it's going to be more durable, and especially if you use this kind of waxy cardboard that you find on cereal boxes, it's really easy to kind of just clean off and for it to not get hurt by the water. It's a little water resistant. If you want a stencil that's very durable and can hold up to things like water, a great way to achieve that is by using packing tape. You're using it in a way that's essentially like laminating something, but less expensive and easier to do. So you're just going to do exactly like what you did before. You can draw out the image you want and have cut out the rectangle of your stencil or whatever large shape is around your stencil. And then you're going to go in and you're going to add your pieces of tape like this on top, as big a piece as you can get. And once you have them all laying on both sides, you just go back in and trim, fold your paper, and cut out your stencil like I showed before. You could also actually draw after you've taped things together in case you forget somehow. It's not the end of the world, but I would recommend you draw it first. If you want to make a stencil of something symmetrical, you don't have to pencil it in first, but you can if you want to. Just pencil in half of the image and have it folded, and then cut that and open it up, and you will have the full stencil. All of these tricks are really only for a solid stencil, but another trick you can use if you want a stencil that's not solid, a paper snowflake can be a fabulous stencil. So that can be something really fun that you can do. And you can also do it so that you just hold a little something there, a little piece of something there, go over that, and then build from there. So if you have a more complicated stencil, the way I showed you at the beginning of going around something instead of just inside it, you can have a couple of different things that you place next to each other and then go on top of them. And it also lets you play around with the composition and change it as you like. So those are some of my stenciling tricks. You can use stenciling for watercolors. You can use stenciling for making collages. Like I was saying, if you want to cut out the same thing again and again, having a stencil can be really helpful. You can use stencil to use with oil pastels, with acrylics. So don't feel that you're limited to store-bought stencils. Now you know how to make your own. Thanks for coming to Creativity Time with Julia Major. If you enjoyed these tips and tricks, I hope you like and subscribe. Have a colorful day.